All right, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel where we talk about all things business, personal finance, mindset, entrepreneurship, and credit. If that sounds like something that's in your arena of interest, then consider hitting that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. And I want to give a huge shout out and a huge congratulations to everyone that's already purchased the ebook that we have that just yesterday at the time of this recording right here, and that's already joined the credit and financial literacy academy that we have set up. Again, both of these products are brand new, and I just wanted to congratulate you guys that have already hopped on it. If you haven't done so already, then I'll go ahead and leave those links down in the description and down pinned as the first comment. So with this method right here, there's a lot of methods out there that work that we've been talking about, we've been sharing on this channel when it comes to building personal credit. We talk about business credit, but this video right here is going to be geared toward the personal credit because I want you to have a solid foundation in your personal credit. If you have that right, then it's going to make it 10 times easier for you to not only obtain some higher funding, but it's also going to make your life a heck of a lot easier when you're financing things on the back end, or if you're looking to establish business credit later on in your career or in your business, if that is part of your goal. But if it's not, either way, you're going to find value in this method that I'm about to share with you. So when it comes to the credit algorithm, there's a few things that you want to pay attention to. We know that the type of cards that you have play a role. We know that the type of information in terms of your name or how much income you have plays a role into the algorithm. We know that not just the type of cards that you get, but how old some of those cards are. We also know that the mix of the type of loans and the type of products that you have on your credit plays a role. But when it comes to using this method, if you're looking to get the bump that you want to get, that I'm hoping that you get, because if you use this correctly, you can see anywhere between a 50 to 100 point jump. Now, obviously, that's going to depend on where your credit is. So before we lay the framework of what it's going to take, I first want to share with you how the algorithm works and then some pieces that you're going to need in order to pull this off yourself correctly. So there's two really big pieces that really kind of goes into or coalesces with the credit or with the credit score, or with the FICO credit algorithm score. And that's going to be your credit utilization, and that's going to be your payments history. Those two right there, well, with payment history going first and then credit utilization going second, exactly in that order. With those two right there, you can see right around the 70% makeup of your entire credit. So those are really two things that we really need to pay attention to if you're looking to see this this drastic increase in your credit score. So what makes up the credit utilization is how much debt you have according to how much credit limit you have access to. This means that if you have a $10,000 limit on credit cards all across the board, so let's say 3 credit cards, all of them equal to about $10,000, and let's say you've used up $4,000 worth of credit for this month, that means that you have a 40% credit utilization. Now, if you know anything about credit, and if you've been keeping an eye on us on this channel when we talk about credit, when we talk about our credit utilization, you know that you definitely want to drive that down under 10% to be safe. Now, a lot of people tend to ask me, Irv, is there a specific number that, let's say, the credit bureaus look at? It really works on a sliding scale because there's a couple of different factors that they looked at. And by sliding scale, I mean it's anywhere from 0% all the way to a 10% credit utilization. Now, I know you hear people out there where they'll say, you know, have it at a 3% or have it at a 1% or have it at an 8%. All of those philosophies work and all of those methods work, but let's be honest, between me and you definitely want to keep that below 10% just to be on the safe side. And if you don't want to pay any interest, and if you're like me and you don't want to pay the banks, you just want to reap the rewards, you just want to reap the travel, then you shouldn't even be carrying a balance to begin with. Again, that's just my 2 cents on that. And then when it comes to payment history, obviously, if you're keeping your credit utilization low, and if you're keeping it, possibly you're paying it off every single month and not carrying a balance, then you know that your payment history is going to be at 100%. So that's the first piece to this puzzle. Here's the second piece that I really want you to focus in on, and that's this. When you're looking at your credit report, you don't want to have any new collections, any new charge-offs, any new negative items reported onto your credit report in at least the last 90 to 120 days. Now, if it's anything past that, then you should be fine, because a good rule of thumb is that as that charge off, as that collection, as that hard inquiry passes each month, it becomes less weight on the overall makeup of your credit score. So take a look at your credit report, take a look at your Credit Karma app, take a look at any app that you're using right now, Identity IQ, whatever that is, and first notice, do I have anything new on my credit report? If not, then move on to this step right here. Remember what we just finished talking about when it comes to credit utilization. Your payment history is going to be taken care of as long as your credit utilization is taken care of. So we don't even have to worry about your payment history, even though that makes up the top tier of your credit score. We want to focus on your credit utilization, but there's a certain breakdown, a certain formula that you want to follow with your credit card utilization. You see, Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax, they all have their different algorithms of how they want the cards or how they want the balances spread out between all of the cards. And so I've been able to figure out that if, let's say, you have 3 cards, you have, let's say, a limit of $5,000 a pop, that's $15,000. Let's say you have $3,000 on one card, $1,000 on one card, and let's say the other card is maxed out, right? Whatever that credit card utilization is, off the top of my head, that's probably 50%, right? I've noticed that if you have them spread out amongst different cards, that actually ends up kind of hurting you on the back end, because the algorithms feel as if you're in need of having to use all of these cards to kind of sustain yourself. There's a weird game that happens with credit cards, and this is why I really wanted to give you this insight right here, where if they feel like you need the credit cards, then they're going to do 2 things. They're either going to ding you for your credit and they're going to drop it, or they're going to lower the limit that you have access to, especially if you're carrying a balance. This is why I say, if you're going to run up the balance, try to pay it all off or keep it under that 5 to 10% every month, because if not, they see that you're starting to kind of live in that area, and that's when they start to give you the call or send you that email or send you that letter. Hey, we just reduced your credit limit. If that's ever happened to you, let me know down in the comments, because that's been happening even more now with everything going on, with more consumers having to rely on their credit cards. Now, going back to this method right here, here's what I would recommend. You want to pay off completely, if you want to see this improvement over the next 48 to 72 hours when your credit goes to report for you, you want to pay off all of your credit cards, and you just want to keep your balance on one possible card. And that one card, again, keep that under a 10%. What's going to happen with the credit bureaus is they're going to take a look at your card. Let's say Equifax or Experian, they're going to take a look at your cards, and they're going to say, okay, they paid off all of their balances. So even though they're using the cards, they don't necessarily need to rely on the cards, which is another sneaky method that you can use when you're asking for higher credit limits. Now, I wasn't planning on including this in this video, but if you plan on increasing your credit limits, you also want to run them up, max them out, and then at the end of the month, pay off the balance completely and leave it under 5%, and then ask for that credit bump. I gave you 2 pieces of information right there that I wasn't planning on giving you, at least not in this video, but I do know that I have an audience that applies everything that I teach on this channel, because I see your messages, I see your emails, I just see the support that you guys have given me here on this channel, and I just want to give as much as I can back to you guys. So if you found value in this content, consider hitting the subscribe button down below. Don't forget that anytime I'm not posting on here, I'm posting over on the Inside with Irv show, which is my podcast style channel. So if you like what we have going on over here, you'll love what we have going on over there. Once again, I appreciate you guys checking this out. Till next time, everyone, I will see you in the next video.